absolutely crazy. For why? I've actually been sleeping well. Proud of myself. My sleeping schedule has been going well. Fixed itself. Yay. Well, it didn't fix itself. I had put in the work. Hi. I felt like I was about to go into a little bit of a reading slump. We cannot afford that. We're 10 books away from reaching my reading goal for the year. I think last year I finished my reading goal before the fall, in the middle of summer maybe. I don't remember. But I would like to do that this year. So 10 books away. Just gonna keep going. Not forcing myself to read or anything, but I would like to reach my goal. That'd be very fun, very cool. So anyways, I just was like, freaking pick a book, girl. So I went on Scribd because there's tons there, but I saved them and then I never listened to them. Audiobooks. I just figured I would read Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong because it's on there. Might as well just read it. Started it yesterday. I had seen it in the bookstore and I'd read the description then, and it honestly sounded like the most basic shit ever. And so a little bit later I went on Goodreads and looked at some reviews, and honestly there were some really bad reviews. So I was like a little bit hesitant. The very basic description mixed with the very not good reviews. I wasn't like rushing to read this book, but I figured let's make up our own mind, obviously. Although, side note, some of the reviews, I just went back and looked at it last night because I was like, wait, what were the bad reviews actually saying? Why do people think it's such a bad thing for a book to be slow paced and or for a lot of info dumping? Like, info dumping is just a different type of storytelling, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Like, I read a lot of high fantasy. I say that and I feel like I haven't read a high fantasy in ages, but in theory, I read a lot of high fantasy, and a lot of high fantasy is a lot of info dumping.
I don't know what you mean by, hey Siri, I really don't have anything, and a lot of my fantasy is. How about a web search for it?
No. What the heck? I don't even know what I was just saying, but you know, you get it. A lot of high fantasy has a lot of info dumping, a lot of world building. I honestly love that kind of mundaneness of just being in a world, nothing really happening, because when things happen, it gives me anxiety. So I just like to just exist in the world, and so info dumping is kind of fun sometimes, okay? Sue me, don't. Immortal Longings. It's like the Hunger Game meets Jade City, but like not really Jade City because there's no gangs, but like the Asian characters and world and like oppressive society, crush of humanity kind of vibes. Like the buildings are stacked up on each other kind of thing, building upwards instead of outwards, like Ready Player One. Were those buildings like that in Ready Player One? I honestly can't even remember. I've read the book, but I can't remember anything about the book. I only remember the movie. Blade Runner. There you go. That's the example. I love those kinds of books where it's a dystopian kind of world where humanity is like forced into a small space and how society develops in that space. Love. Maybe it's because like nostalgia, because I grew up in the time of like the dystopian YAs when they were really popping off. So this is like the Hunger Games because there's a competition to the death, but people can enter it willingly. Anyways, I'm enjoying it so far. Pretty captivating. What more can I ask for? Yes, it is a little bit slow paced, but like things are happening. But I like where I can just live in a world for a bit where things aren't too crazy, anxiety inducing, heart racing, blood pumping vibes. Like, yes, things are happening and they are a little bit scary, high stakes, but they're not like too intense, so I enjoy that. Like, I don't need the drama craziness all the time, you know what I mean? The only thing that I would say that I don't like about this book or have a problem with is that the actual games itself, they kind of don't make sense. Don't think about it too long and you'll be fine. It's kind of like The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Everybody keeps recommending that book, always talking about it, and honestly, when I read it, I was like, whatever, fine. I didn't know that it was like really popular at the time when I read it, but then after, and everybody kept talking about it incessantly, I started thinking about it more, and I started being more critical because I was like, why though? Because it was that kind of book where I just turned my brain off, like, don't really like read it, whatever, I'll forget about it. But the more critically I think about it, the more it doesn't make sense. There's so many things about that book that just don't make sense, and I honestly didn't feel like any attachment to any of the characters or any chemistry between the characters. Okay, there was some, but like I didn't like feel it. It wasn't like, oh my god, in my heart, and like how everybody hypes it up to be, you know what I mean? It wasn't as like amazing as everybody says. And I can't help but freaking compare it to Daughter of No Worlds. I read that before Serpent and the Wings of Night, and it was written before it, so you know what? I can't help but compare it because it is by the same author. That one is just far superior. I think that one should be getting the hype. It is, but like not as much as Super in the Wings of Night. I just really love Daughter of No World. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to continue Immortal Longings, and I'll probably finish it. Hopefully, yeah, I will. I'm not just going to give up randomly at the 70% mark, as I have been frequently doing the past few months. I'm going to finish it, and then I'll get back to you probably after I'm done. So, yeah, also I want to say that the UK cover is superior to this American one. Like, it's fine, it's cute, but since the UK one exists, like, it's clearly superior. Anyways, I have 3 hours left of the audiobook. That's it. I don't have any other reading plans as of right now, although I did find this in my closet, which I barely even started, and I would like to continue. So I kind of want the audiobook though, but I have the physical book, so I could just read from the physical copy. Gosh. Anyways, bye.
Bushy eyebrows low and relaxed, beard smooth and laid flat. The background is hazy but light and he's at all corners. He goes as the cigarette dangling between her teeth. In one moment, what we must do is raise the weight of their confidence. We must show strength in the face of hardship.
This print keeps falling down. I just need to go get different tape. But anyways, I finished Immortal Longings, and I saw that frickin' end coming from a mile away. That was so obvious. I was not shocked at all. Sometimes when that kind of thing happens in books, I'm like, yeah, right. And I just don't believe it. And most of the time I'm correct. But there was one time in one book, Karina Hale, she did it, and I literally didn't even react until, come to find out, she was serious. And I was like, are you kidding? Blood Orange by Karina Hale. That book, very good, very spicy. So beware. Anyways, so I'll give Immortal Longings maybe like a 4 or a 5, 4.5. I don't know. Recently I've been very lax with my ratings, but whatever. I have the power, so deal with it. I thought it was pretty good. I would recommend it if that whatever I said earlier sounded enticing enough. So yeah, I don't know if I'll read the next book. We'll see whenever that book comes out, if I'll remember what this first book was about, because it does feel like one of those books that over time will slowly fade from the memory, which is like a lot of books for me, honestly, because I read so much, you know, like how am I supposed to hold all that in my brain? I know that I have a good long-term memory, but you never know with me nowadays. I've already found what I want to read next, also in audio, because I'm just in an audiobook kind of mood right now. I was very much in my Kindle era like a month ago, but now we're back to the audiobooks. So I also kept seeing this one in bookstores, and I looked it up in Scribd, and they freaking had it, so we're gonna read this one next. Every other book that I want to listen to on audiobook, Scribd doesn't have it, my library doesn't have it, only Audible, and I don't have a credit until later this month, so working with what we got. Ink, Blood, Sisters, Scribe by törzs. This book takes place in Vermont. I lived in Vermont for 2 years. I hope to visit Vermont this fall because vibes, you know? But this is a magical realism with 2 sisters, and their family has like a magical library, and then their father dies or something. But in this magical library, there are magical books that you can like go into the worlds of, and like, I don't know, something. I'm not good at reading descriptions or relaying it to you, so look it up yourself. But I think I'll give this one a go. You know, I don't like things set in the real world necessarily, but it does have magic, so I'm hopeful that it'll be okay. But I'm not going to start it right away. Maybe later today I'm going to watch some YouTube videos or something for a little buffer since I just finished a book. So that's the plan. Sorry, the AC is on. Something happened a little bit, like half an hour ago, that really normally would send me into a spiral. Little anxiety attack. But I got it under control. I'm okay. But I did end up just going on TikTok and watching everybody's Bama Rush Day 5. I love watching anything to do with sororities. Bama Rush is just so fun to watch on TikTok because that life, that like completely could have never been in my stars. Like me in a sorority, just incomprehensible, unfathomable, just would never happen for me. And then just now I got an email that I was approved for A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. If you guys are OGs, you'd know how much I loved Stolen Songbird and how much I raved about it back in the day, and I reread it kind of recently, a couple years ago now. Time. Somebody actually read that after I said that like I still liked it all the years later, and they read it and they were like it wasn't good, and I was like, yeah, I liked it as for what it was and for like the memories that the nostalgia that it gave me. It's not like the best book ever, like don't take it so seriously. Anyways, her other series, like I was very involved, very much like doing the things, promoting, and so when she had the new series come out, Bridge Kingdom, I actually got it early, I think, or got it for free, something, I don't know. I got it because it came out on Audible first before being in print, and I did like cover reveal stuff for it, and I just thought it was okay, which was devastating because it was like my first experience of really being into the author and like really hyping it up and then just not loving it. So that was interesting. The Bridge Kingdom really blew up on Book Talk, and you know everybody reads it and loves it, and I honestly remember being like, it wasn't that like amazing. And my friend Jenna read it, I don't know when she read it, kind of recently, I guess, I don't know, a little while ago now. And she had the same feelings as I did. So I was like, maybe the other books in the series are better, but Danielle Jensen recently wrote a new book and it's coming out in next year, I think, February. I saw the other day on her Instagram that she had gotten arcs, and so I was reading the description of it. It sounded really good, and I realized that there were NetGalley arcs available, and so I requested one and I got it. I think it's like a Nordic book. It's about like a Freya and like a warlord, perhaps. I literally read the description like a day or two ago, but it sounds really good, so I'm very excited. So now I have the arc to read. So I might start that later. But I'm really proud of myself for not having an anxiety attack. So I really want to get gelato. Like, after I went through that moment, I was like, oh, I want some gelato as a reward. Anyways, so I might go get gelato. Rocky! You know you have social anxiety when you're like planning what to say to order. And you're like, regular, this flavor, in a cone. And then you go up and you forget to say hello. And they're like, hi, how are you? And you're like, cone. No, I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Forgetting the vlog too. Yeah.
Hi, I've rested. I've watched my Bama Talk TikToks. Very fun. I've been very invested this year. But I went to Renegade Craft today. I wasn't gonna go this summer season, but I was like, I should just get out of the house, you know. I wanted to get a couple of prints from Katie Mai. She was gonna be there. And it's her birthday, so I was like, you know what, I'll just have a little day out, okay? I'll go read, I'll go start a new book at a cafe. I got these two that I actually wanted last time she was at a Renegade Craft, but I'm too thick and socially awkward. I had already given my stuff to calculate for payment, and then I saw these, and I was like, I want those, but it was too late, and it was busy, and, you know, anyways, I got them this time, just in time for Halloween. And I also got this print. Freaking cute. One of my favorite prints of hers is up in a frame, and it actually fell in the frame, and I haven't fixed it yet, and it really annoys me every time I look at it. This bookmark, I don't know why I keep buying other people's bookmarks, because I literally only ever use my own bookmarks, because, you know, I'm an entrepreneur like that. Oh, and I also got this cute sticker I love. Her name's Katie, and my nickname is Katie. Girl boss. Anyways, I also got these two stickers from Alexis Luciano. I can say that in my head, but I can't say that out loud. But, oh, and I got this cute shirt. Did I say cute? I don't know what's wrong with me. So anyways, I went to that, and then I was gonna go home, because I can't wait to come home. Sounds like somebody's drilling a door, or like drilling in the hallway. Anyways, after that, I was like, ready to go home. And then I was like, you know what? I'm all the way here. I want to go to the My Plastic Heart store to see, because they have blind boxes and, like, I think they call it designer toys. I can't tell if that's in the hallway or if it's outside. I was like, I'm all the way over this side. I want to go to that store to see what blind boxes they have, because you never know. It's in rotation. But they didn't open until 1 p.m. So I had an hour to burn. But I didn't want another coffee. But I ended up going to this cafe that when I went with, actually, when was that? This time last year or something. Such aesthetic vibes. Very wonderful, beautiful. Went there again another time, and they changed up the art, and it was just not the vibe. I did not like the vibe. The music was off. I was like, never coming here again. But it was in the area, and I didn't want to walk back to the previous cafe, which I did like the little outside seating. It's a nice day. It's nice and cool, actually. It kind of feels like a fall day almost. Anyways, went there. It was fine. Started reading. What the heck is the name of the book? But the new Danielle Jensen book, whatever that book is called. I started that, and it's freaking fun so far. Got me hooked in the beginning. And then I was like, I'm gonna go sit on the couch and read. But I was like, let me first look at my Bama Talk TikToks. Let me catch up with Bama Rush Talk. I only watched TikToks. I didn't do any more reading. Oops. But yesterday I finished Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Törzs. So good. I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but I'm so glad that I read it. I think I saw something about like sisterhood, and I honestly don't even feel like it's a sisterhood type of book. There's also a third perspective that I didn't know was going to be. So there's the two sisters and a third POV person player in this story. I liked the world. I really enjoyed the magic. It's a lot of book magic, which I love. So I started making a list of books like this, so I'll have that whenever I do a recommendation video, if I ever get around to do that. You know how I am. I'm not making any promises because I always break these promises, but yeah, it's got dark academia vibes for sure. On Scribd, it said magical realism and women's contemporary, and I was like, ew, please no. But it was fine. It does take place in the real world, and there are some like random real world stuff that I'm just like, please make it stop. But it's fine. I made it through it, and I still really liked it. So yeah, and that's it. I don't think there was anything else that I really wanted to say, but enjoyed it. Also, the narrator for the audiobook, she really pulled out her Australian accent for two of these characters. Perfect. Wonderful. Love that for her. But there was one character with a Boston accent, and I don't really know how Boston accent sounds, but it was just so rough, unless that is how Boston people actually talk. Anyways, that's it for now. I think that's it for this video, basically. I still have to update my reading journal with the Inkblood Sister Scribe, and then I'm going to continue reading whatever the Danielle Jensen book is. I'll probably leave the review of that book until the next video, so see you later.